Welcome to the Royal Gang Squad. Hello once again, my lovies. Thank you for choosing me and my channel today. Hope you're gonna enjoy the content. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as per usual. Enjoy.
Phila kuwo izinto ezininzi sekudala ngizama kodwa ubomi abujinji.
And the song is by Crazy A Nkomonde, titled Takes Your Fingers. Please do show your support down in the description box. So on today's video, as you can see from the title, we will be talking about how to improve your essay writing in assignments. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So I have water here. This is Lulu's cup. It looks so cute. I love it. I love even the height. We got it from Pep Store. It was, I think, 5 rand, if not 6 rand. So I'm drinking water because my cousin bought me chocolate, so I'm trying to ease up the sweetness in my mouth. So yeah, let's start. So in every essay or an assignment that you have to write, the first thing that you would need to take into account is you reading the instructions carefully or more than once. This will help you understand exactly what it is that is required of you. You have to write an essay, do you have to write a report, do you have to write critical analysis, and so forth and so forth. So you will only get the information to that if you read your instructions carefully. And the second point is you start with your introduction, right? I'm gonna glimpse on my laptop because I actually wrote some pointers for you guys, because I really did like a thorough research on this, because I really want you guys to improve your essay writing. When you start with your introduction, right, the reason for you to have an introduction in every paper that you have to write or every assignment that you have to write in varsity, you have to have an introduction. This will give the facilitator, the examiner, or your lecturer an idea of what it is that they can expect from your paper without having to scroll through or having to go through your essay or your writing to find what this essay is all about. You need to give them an idea beforehand, before getting to your focal point, or you start with your argument or whatever report that you have to write. And the key main things that should be evident in your introduction are, so you first have a background or a introducing sentence, then you have your definition, you have your problem statement, your thesis statement, and a preview of the writing. So let me explain what these things are, right? So the background or introducing sentence is usually like, for example, let's say you are telling someone about like a movie like Blood and Water. Say you are talking to your friend, right? When you are telling your friend about Blood and Water, you're not gonna at first say to the friend, blood and water is A, B, C, and D. No, you're gonna have a introducing sentence which is gonna sound something like, have you heard about the trending series called Blood and Water? Blood and Water is A, B, C, and D, and whatever, right? So that have you heard about the trending series called Blood and Water, that is your background and that is your introducing sentence. Because before you can actually lay down the foundation of what you want to argue or talk about, you need to give someone like a little bit of context or content before you can jump into it. You need to first give a little bit of background in like one sentence of what you're going to talk about, and have a definition. But your definition has to be an educated one, in such that it has to have a source, it has to be referenced. Your introduction has to have one reference, not more than one, because if you have more than one, then you're already moving on to your positive matter that you're going to talk about. So that part, according to Netflix 2020 page 1, blood and water is A, B, C, and D. So that needs to be an educated definition. That it needs to have source, and you need to reference it right. We move on to the problem statement. So the problem statement, you're going to say this essay will investigate the problems relating to blood and water. So that is your problem statement, the problem within your writing or what you have to write. So sometimes on your instructions, they're not going to say that problem. You have to create the problem yourself, because at the end of the day, there's a reason why you have to write this writing, right? So the problem statement, you create it yourself, and then the thesis statement is how you are going to solve the problem. So you're going to say, this will be argued through careful whatever guys, and I literally forgot to have like one of my essay or whatever, but like it's the thesis statement is actually how you're going to resolve the problem. So you're going to say how you're going to resolve the problem. I don't know, I might include my assignment for you guys to understand, but I'll see how I can actually incorporate that. But basically a thesis statement is how you're going to resolve the problem, right? Cool. Then after a thesis statement, you have the preview of your essay, which is important, meaning now this is the order of how you will structure your body, right? So a preview, you're gonna say firstly dash will be discussed. Maybe let's say, for example, firstly the history of blood and water will be discussed. Secondly, how it trended will be deliberated. And then thirdly is the actors and blood and water will be considered, right? So this is like a preview of how you're gonna do your body, how your body is gonna be structured, and this part is very important. So that's your introduction. So your introduction has to have these 5 things at all times. So if you follow these 5 points, if you have these 5 points evident in your introduction, and probably you didn't write it the right way, you're gonna get marks for the structure. So the structure on its own is like half a mark, because everything is 1 mark. So it's like half marks, or 1, another 1, which is 2.5. So if you master this introduction, you already have 2.5, and 2.5 is already 50% of the introduction, and we pass, right? Cool. And then after that, the third point is e-headings. E-headings are very much necessary. So you need to have your headings, right? So when you're writing your heading, right, your main heading has to be in capital letters, meaning that the first thing that you're going to talk about, right, firstly, it's your introduction. So introduction is going to be in capital letters, because that's the main heading. Then after introduction, your main heading, which is going to be your problem statement. The problem statement is going to be the one that is going to be your main heading. Like, for example, you're going to say the problems relating to blood and water. That will be your main heading in capital letters, all of it. And then after that, you're going to have e-subheadings, right? E-subheadings are also very important. So e-subheadings, Zona, they are bold, but they're cursive. Is it cursive? I hope it's correct. So that is the heading. So your essay have to be written like that, and it's very important, guys, for you to have that thing, because your writing is going to look very neat and very organized, which is what the people that are going to be marking are going to be looking at. These are the technical things that we don't take into account, but they really count for marks, right? Cool. The fourth thing that you have to take into account is numbering your work accordingly. You don't only have to number a page number. even your writing has to have in numbers. For example, introduction is always number one. Your number one is introduction. Number two is your main heading, which is going to be derived from your problem statement. And then 2.1 is your subheading, which is the preview of your essay. Number three is going to be conclusion, if you're not going to have recommendations or evaluation. Usually some other like writings, they would want you to have recommendations or evaluation. Then if you don't have them, then it's fine. But evaluation and recommendation, you are going to get it from the instructions. If the instructions do not say you should have one, then don't have one. Number four, it's going to be a reference list. It's very important as well for you to have a reference list. But again, this also differs in how our universities are. From my university, if you have your in-text reference, you have to have a reference list where you're going to show where did you get the article that you used in your essay writing, right? So numbering your work is very important, and I already wrote here that this makes it easier for the person reading or marking your assignment to know where to find what or jump to the point they want in your paper. I believe I've already explained that. Right, then number five, you pay very careful attention to your body, right? So we're going to discuss your body, and your body is going to include these. The first one is going to be a main heading, which is going to be derived from your problem statement, right? And also subheadings containing the sentences of a preview of your essay, right? Then it has to have a long paragraphs. Your paragraphs have to be 5 to 7 sentences at least, minimum or more. But the main point here, the reason why I said 5 to 7 is for you to get an understanding that your body needs more content. Like your paragraphs have to be more, they have to be lengthy, because this is where you are getting to your point, you are explaining everything thoroughly. And they've always said to me that when you're writing your essay, you have to think ukuthi you are reciting or you're writing this thing to a 10-year-old, someone who has never heard about this. Just because you are writing this to a communications lecturer who knows about what you have to write about, it doesn't mean that you have to take into account that the person knows, because they are evaluating you if you know what they have told you, right? So you have to think ukuthi that communication lecture probably is a 10-year-old that has never heard about this. So that's why you have to be specific and explain everything thoroughly, right? So longer sentences here. Also, in these long sentences, the one thing they told us in our school is that you have to use the T principle. T principle. So the T stands for a topic statement, the E is for examples, and the A is for analysis, right? I feel like I don't have to explain the T principle. I just had to explain what the words or the acronym, if it's an acronym, what it means. So basically it's a topic statement, examples, and analysis. So these sentences in your body have to contain this T principle, because that's how they're gonna evaluate you, right? And then you, as I've mentioned before, that you have to use references at all time. So in referencing, there's two ways of referencing. One, it's in-text referencing and a reference list. So in-text is the one that's going to be evident in your essay writing on your body, and then reference list is the one that's going to be at the end when you're done. Usually when you're reading books, you're going to see at the end the pages in a book, there's going to be something that says bibliography, but we don't write it like that as of yet. I think undergrad, I don't know honors benzanjani, because I'm not an honor student. I'm still undergrad, but we call it the reference list, where you're gonna have all your references with your articles, your books that you use to get like information for your writing. So I've also noted here that after every educated or quoted point, use practical examples to show your understanding of what it is that you are expected to explain. reframe from the ones on your textbook, as you need to prove to your teacher or lecturer examiner that you truly understand what the concept entails. So on the part, the T principle, on the E, when you're using E examples to explain your point, right, try to not grasp or use the examples that you have seen online or on a book. Not to say that's wrong, but you're going to get more marks when you are having an example of something that you have experienced, have encountered, and something that's familiar with your surrounding. Because not only is it good for you to have an example, but it shows that you understand the concept and you know how to apply it, which is what they actually want. Because everyone, like even me now, I'm sharing these points to you guys so that you can be able to apply them correctly when you are writing your own essays. So everyone has what you call an outcome for teaching you something. They want you to understand, and understanding on its own is not enough. You need to be able to apply that understanding. So that's how they're going to see that you understand a certain point that they're trying to teach you about. So you need to have examples that are something that you have experienced or something that exists in your culture or whatever. Then we move on to number 6. So now you have written your essay, you have written your body, which contains most of the main things that relate to what you have to do, and now you're done, obviously. So what is left, which is the 6th point now, is you proofreading your work. Guys, you have to proofread your work. Like, read it, I don't know how many times. Read your work, because when you're reading your work again, it's easier for you to find the common little mistakes that you're gonna make. Obviously, whenever you're writing something, in your mind there's something that you're thinking about, and you're not gonna get everything right all the time, so you need to proofread your work so that you can check all those spelling errors, fix your grammar and stuff like that, so that is why it is important for you to read your work, because as individuals we are not perfect. We are bound to make mistakes, and it is okay for you to make a mistake. So that is why you need to proofread your work. You cannot write something at once and you go and submit. No matter what genius, that is just impossible. You need to go back to your work and reread it. If a lecturer has to do that and correct those spelling errors and stuff like that for you, you're going to lose more marks, because they're going to see that you didn't proofread your work, so you wanted somebody else to do that for you, and you're going to lose marks. In my school, they do, when they have, I think, when you have, after every third era, there's like a certain mark that they minus for those 3 areas, right? So do not make that mistake as well. Proofread your work. Then number 7, you focus on your conclusion, because you are done with everything. So your conclusion, always, at all times, it should answer your introduction, right? Because with introduction, you are basically saying what you will do. Now, what have you done? Right, so that's what you're explaining in the conclusion, what you have done. The conclusion answers to your so what. So what? There is your information. So what? What about this information? So now you have to break it down. Like, you need to break it down, discussing every little detail that you have said in your introduction you will do, and tell us what you have done now in your conclusion. So the first thing that you do in trying to break down everything is, number 1, you name the main points again and give a brief summary of what they say in one sentence. So you go back now to the preview of your essay. You also rewrite it the way that it was there. But firstly, you're gonna be like, in conclusion, the definition of blood and water has been discussed, and it was evident that it contains A, B, C, and D, which is going to be a preview of the essay. And then from that, you explain what it means, like from that whole paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences, briefly what you have understood or what that thing means or whatever, because now you're rewriting what you have already written. So you go back, you name the points, and give a brief summary of what they say in one sentence, number one. And number two, you highlight the most important point, that is what you have learned from writing this paper. So obviously in the beginning, when you were asked to write this, you didn't really understand the concept of blood and water. So now that you have gotten the information, you have the examples or whatnot, so now you need to highlight this on your introduction and tell us exactly what you have learned as well, given the information from the internet and whatnot. Now, what did you not understand then that you understand now in your conclusion? And keep in mind in your conclusion that also there are no new information. You can never have new information on your conclusion. Everything that is written on your conclusion has to be something that is in your body or in your introduction. What do I mean by this? Sharp. So in an introduction, you have to have a background or an introducing sentence. So you can say in your introducing sentence, a wise man once said, let's say it's the writing is about corona or whatnot. Then you're going to say, a wise man once said, the power of living healthy and whatever is washing your hands or whatnot. It's like a quote that, this quote is an example, it does not exist, okay? It's a quote. And then you close quote and then you mention that person. That is okay for you to write that in an introduction because you are introducing. But even in that quote has to be something that relates to the topic. It's either it's something that is kind of disagreeing with the topic, or it's something that agrees with the topic. If it disagrees because you're going to be arguing critical analysis. Critical analysis is where you have both sides and then you argue your point, what you believe in. So it's most appropriate for you to have it like that. Some other people are good writers, so they will do that. But me, I love keeping my things very simple, right? Cool. So it's okay for you to have a quote that you have taken it from wherever you have taken it in an introduction. But in a conclusion, you cannot say, in a nutshell, say, Maya Angelou's, no, you cannot have that. If you didn't have Maya Angelou's in your body or introduction, you cannot have Maya in your conclusion at all. No new information. Stick to what you have already written, because here you are telling us the reason why this essay came to life and what you have learned and what you want us to take from your writing, or what you want the person to understand from this writing, right? Then we move on to the technical aspect of your paper, because you having the information and mastering this structure is not enough. Honestly, it's not enough. So now we're moving on to the technical aspect of your paper. So point number 8 is that after you are finished with your paper and proofreading it, check how good is your grammar by visiting free online grammar checkers, right? So this will ensure that your grammar is close to perfection, because lecturers or teachers are not only looking for good information on an assignment, but good application of that information. So you having the right information is really not enough to get you that distinction that you want, right? You need to make sure that your grammar is correct. And since English is not really our mother tongue, the one that I highly recommend is Grammarly, because that's the one I use. There's Grammarly and there are others, but I trust Grammarly. So Grammarly has a paid subscription. Is it paid? Whatever, but it has a paid one, and the free one, right? So the free one, it's gonna correct your grammar to a certain extent, right? It's not gonna give you 100% because it also has an overall performance. So when you upload your sentence there, it has to be 100 words. Yeah, your 1,000 words. It has to be 1,000 words per thingy. So you cannot just your whole writing there. It's not gonna do it for you. So you have, it's like 1,000. It has to be 1,000 words, 1,000 words, 1,000 words. Yeah. So when you copy and paste your body there, 1,000 words, at the top, like top right, yes, top right, it's gonna write your overall performance. So usually for me, when I upload mine, it would probably say 60% or 58%, and then it's gonna correct, it's gonna highlight like the things that you need to correct, and the punctuations that are put in a wrong place, they're gonna, like, literally you're gonna have options and you just click there and then it corrects it for you. And then it's not gonna give you the overall of 100% because you don't pay for that. But if you have you pay for grannmar, you have that subscription that you're gonna pay the money, which I do not have, so I cannot pay, then it's gonna take you to 100%. So but it's gonna leave you at a good percentage, like maybe 76, 80. I've had 85, so I think it's really highly recommendable, so that's good. So you need to use Grammarly and check for other online free grammar checkers. It's very good for you to know these things and make use of them. There are a lot of them on the internet, but I highly recommend Grammarly. Then number 9, you also look for online free plagiarism checker as well, because you do not want to lose marks carelessly by having a high plagiarism percentage. Trust me, it happens. So to those that are not actually in varsity as of yet, but are going to varsity probably next year, matrics, there's a thing called plagiarism, when you take someone's work and you make it your own when it's not your own. So basically in an assignment, it is whereby you take a reference from someone else and you do not quote them. You need to quote and give credit where it's due. It's not Facebook, it's an assignment. There's something that we call Turnitin that is going to check your plagiarism. So Turnitin, all universities use Turnitin. So how it works is that you need to have a plagiarism that is less than 15. Né? When your plagiarism is like 30%, you are in trouble. Literally, you are in trouble because you have plagiarized quite a lot. Plagiarism has to be under 15%, I think. Guys, comment down below, university student, help other kids understand this concept. But I think it works like that. 30, you're out. In our school, you are going to disciplinary hearing. Oh, you're going to get a warning first and then disciplinary, and then you are suspended. And then at 15%, they're going to mark out of half, 50% of your assignment, then the other 50% because you've already plagiarized. So make sure your plagiarism is under or 15%. Then the only way you would know this is also using free plagiarism checkers that are there online. So I use Qtext. Qtext is also a free plagiarism checker. Even Qtext, they have a paying subscription, or you have to pay for it, and then there's the free one. So I use the free one, and even now it's 1,000 words. And another thing is, another point I mentioned here is that a good way of avoiding high plagiarism is referencing everything in your assignment that you know is not your work. Another point I'd like to give you is that when you are not sure where the reference should be in your paragraph, rather at the end of the paragraph, that's where you have your reference, so that you know you are on the safe side. Because how Turnitin works is that you just need to reference. Even if that reference is not correct, you just need to reference. That's how you gonna survive with Turnitin. You just need to reference your work. Then the last point is, which is point number 10, it's when writing, please try to put in a lot of what you understand of a source than getting too many sources to make up one sound paragraph. What do I mean by this? What I mean basically by this is that there are certain people that when they're writing an assignment, a paragraph is going to be made of different sources. Ne? Only sources. Umtu doesn't have their own understanding in that paragraph. It's just like different sources. Yes, you can do that, but it is advisable for you not to do that because it shows that you are relying too much on the next person for your information. There's nothing that you understand from that. So the most recommendable thing is you getting a source and then you write that thing that the source explains, and then after that you write what you understand regarding the source, and words that are like big, use a dictionary to try to understand those words. But you need to have the source and your own information. Even when you're writing your essay, it looks visually appealing for you to have a source, your own words, another source, your own words. It really looks very presentable. So at all times, try to write your understanding of that source. Try to explain the source and what you understand from it, right? At all times, guys. And the other things that you need to be mindful of when you're writing your essay, this is just additional information right now because I love you guys. I mean, I want you guys to do better, right? So your paper or essay has to be written in a formal language. That is, avoid using or don't, haven't, use full sentences such as do not, have not, because this is an essay, not a letter to your friend. And also avoid using the words I, we, mine, my. Everything is written in second person narration. And that is it for today. Those are my 10 tips that have gotten me distinctions in my assignment. I think I'm gonna link or just have a picture of one of my assignments to show you guys because wow, it really is that easy. Guys, make use of the facilities provided in your university. Surely your university has a writing lab. Surely your university has a student center. Surely your university has tutors or whoever whom can help you. Even your lecturers, go to consultation, consult with your lecturer of something that you don't know. With all that being said, good luck. Second semester is coming. I know high schoolers, some of them, they've already opened. Good luck for your final exams, and this is the structure that you need to use for your English language because that's how you're supposed to write your essay for your English. So if you have any further questions, comment down below. If you need any help with anything, do comment down below. I'm gonna come back with another video, that's if you guys want it, of the reference and showing you guys exactly how to reference. But you guys are gonna tell me if you really want that video, and then I will try to do my research about it and also include it looking at my assignments and the feedback that I've gotten from my lecture. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and please share the video to any student who might want to improve their essay writing. And yeah, with all of that being said, bye, see you online. Thank you once more for watching. Have a good day, guys. Love you so much. Mwah.